Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is episode number 15 of my F1 2015 Zero to Hero career mode on the F1 2016 mod. And as you can see, we're here at the beautiful COTA circuit in the United States of America, and as you can see, we're on the back of the grid as per usual. Now, if you guys did miss the last episode, then I do recommend you go watch it, guys. It was an absolutely incredible race at Japan, and the one before that was even better, the Malaysian Grand Prix. The last two races have just been absolutely nuts, and I do recommend you guys go watch them if you have not watched them yet. So as you can see, we're currently working on the setup, and we've applied the two most recent upgrades onto the car for this race, so we should be a little bit faster today. And also that means we're going to be, you know, slowly but steadily starting to become the fastest car on the grid. Now, crucially for this race, we've actually got no jokers, so unlike the last two races where we've had the no first lap overtakes joker, in this race we've got no jokers whatsoever, so we should be okay to go full attack this race and really try and push for that victory, and we can push straight as soon as the lights go out. So here we are then on the grid, gearing up to the 5 red lights for the American Grand Prix, and we are underway here, getting a pretty decent start off the line. Actually, a pretty decent start, I've got to say, one of my better ones, but the back end just steps out on me there in 4th gear, but we get a pretty decent start as we now make our way up the hill into turn 1, the incredible elevation change into the apex of turn 1, which is absolutely blind until you get to it, and we got up the inside of a couple of cars there, getting a pretty decent run through turn 1, Hulkenberg trying to go up the inside of turn 2, but we just hang it around the outside, and we hold on to P16 for now as we go through the S's for the first time this Grand Prix here. Very reminiscent of Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone, definitely the best corners on this track without a shadow of doubt in my opinion, as we try and go around the outside of Julian Palmer, which will then become the insides for the next corner, so we get past him quite easily there, and we're up in the P15 now, and you can just tell a difference compared to previous races where, because we can overtake on the first lap, we're just so much more effective, and we're literally cutting through this like a hot knife through butter as we now move into the hairpin for the first time, diving one up the inside of Button, and also Felipe Nasr there putting off a double overtake, but Nasr holding it on the outside. To be fair, surprisingly that he actually managed to keep his nose in there, but he just about holds it on the outside on the curb, and Nasr's actually going to get past us here. Look at the straight line speed of that Sauber there. Nasr really putting in a good job there and trying to get back past me, but I'm just going to get the edge on him on the brakes into the next corner, and Nasr this time has to back out of the move as I overtake him for P13. So not bad from Nasr there, some pretty good impressive driving, but eventually he had to let that one go as we move on to the start of lap number 2 now, and we're on the back of Carlos Sainz, the Toro Rosso driver, picking us from the slipstream here. DRS is not enabled yet, so we're going to try to overtake him in raw straight line speed as we dive right up the side of the first corner there. Nice simple textbook move, as you can see, nice easy there, move on the Spanish driver, and we get ourselves up into P12 now, so nice move on the Spanish driver as we move on to midway through lap 2, and we're now on the back of Sainz's teammate Danny Kvyat, and we make a literally last second decision to actually go up the inside of Darwin, up the inside of the double apex left-hander, and we actually make it stick there with Kvyat giving us the room, so that was quite good from him there. Good racecraft and good race awareness from the Russian driver, as later on lap 3 we dive one up the inside of Kevin Magnussen and make some pretty effective overtakes here, making them all stick first time, so good stuff so far, with the exception of the Nasr one where Nasr tried to fight back, but so far, like I said, some very effective overtaking as we're now on the back of Sergio Perez here as we approach the double apex left-hander once again. Am I going to try and go for the move? Yes, I do. Go up the inside nice and easy there, and Perez this time doesn't even bother putting up a fight, and once again a nice simple overtake up the inside of another car as we now move later on halfway through lap 5, and Ericsson getting all out of shape there on the exit of that left-hander, which allows me to get right onto his gearbox as we go downhill into the hairpin. I'm going to try and dive one up the inside here, and that's exactly what I do, and a nice easy move, and Ericsson once again has to back out, and none of them are really fighting me here, really making some good effective moves, and like I said before, just literally making them stick first time, which is crucial because obviously that means our tyres will last a little bit longer, not really like knocking any life out of our tyres, and at the same time we're pulling off the moves here. And speaking of moves, yeah, another one around the outside of Verstappen there, as you can see, and literally I just got such good drive through the right hand, and I just literally flew past the young Dutchman, and it seems like maybe Verstappen's tyres might be going off a little bit, but he's decided to stay out for another lap surprisingly. But meanwhile we move on to the first pit stop of the race here, coming into our pit box, making sure that we hit our marks, and you just saw Mercedes and a Williams fly past there, so those are the guys that we're sort of looking for, and we're trying to catch this race. But as you can see, Ericsson just gets ahead of us, and we get held up a little bit there. 2.5 second pit stop, not the greatest, but overall not too bad as we go on to another set of yellow wall soft tyres, and we're doing a 3-stop strategy here today, so a bit of a different strategy this race, but hopefully it's going to pay off, going fairly aggressive on the tyres. And we move on to lap 8 now, and everyone's done their pit stops, and look at this 5 5-car scrap. Myself, Massa, Vettel, and both of the Mercedes going at hammer and tongs up the road. And look at this, Massa coming back at us here, holding it on the outside on the curb. Side by side action as we go through the right-hander now. Massa running out a little bit wide there, which allows me to switch back underneath him and get the grip and get past him. So a great move there, great exchange between myself and Massa. But like I said before, look at the battle up ahead between the two Mercedes and also Sebastian Vettel. And it's all kicking off in the top 4 in the World Drivers' Championship, going at it here at Kota as the DRS opens now on lap 9. Down the back straight, Vettel's got DRS so have I. I've got a little bit more straight on speed than him because of the slipstream. I'm going to pull to the inside. Can I make the move on the brakes? No, I can't. Vettel just about has the edge on us in the braking zone, so we've got to hold back for the time being, but hopefully we can try and pull off a move later on. Meanwhile, Rosberg is actually overtaking Hamilton now, and he's actually going to try and pull off in the distance, but we're still on the back of these guys here as we dive one up the inside of our teammate, running in a little bit deep actually into the double apex left-hander, but we do make the move on Vettel there to make it stick for P3, and we move on a couple laps later to lap 11, and we're right on the back of Lewis Hamilton now, and Lewis actually runs a little bit deep through this right-hander, gets all out of shape, and then you see smoke coming off his tyres there. Maybe some sort of problem there for Lewis Hamilton, but we got the inside of the left-hander and make a simple move on him, and we get the move done for second place. So now we can try and hunt down Nico Rosberg, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to roll the dice with the strategy. So we're going to come in for an undercut, and hopefully that is going to get us ahead of Rosberg by the time he pits. Now it looks like Hamilton, Mercedes should I say, are going to try and respond with Hamilton by pitting him also, so it's going to be a bit of a pit stop battle here. I believe there's another car in the pits. I think it's Massa. Yes, there's Massa, so everyone's in the pit lane here, but we just about managed to stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton there for the time being with that strategy call. So now it's crucial that we push on these tyres once we leave the pit lane, and we need to push as hard as we can and have a massive first banker lap here to try and undercut Nico Rosberg. And as we move on to the start of lap 14, exactly the very next lap, there's Nico Rosberg exiting the pits right now. He's just there on the inside. It looks like we're a little bit too far back for now, but we've literally gained so much ground in him. We was a couple of seconds behind him, but now we're all over his gearbox, and we just got to wait for some possible DRS here as we move on to the start of lap 16. A couple laps later, it took me a little while, but eventually we caught up to the back of Rosberg, and here we go with some DRS now. We're going to try and dive one up the inside of the first corner here, nice and late on the brakes, making sure that he hit the apex and run out a little bit wide on purpose to make sure that Rosberg doesn't switch back underneath us there. Just literally, it's very similar to what Hamilton did to Rosberg in the Kota 2015 turn 1 at the start of the race, but obviously not as extreme as that. But meanwhile, now Sebastian Vettel has actually overtaken us for the lead of the race, or the net lead of the race, should I say. And Vettel out of nowhere overtook all of us in that one lap, and he's actually overtaken us as well, and he's taken the lead of the race. So Vettel taking initiative here by wanting to try and spark his championship comeback, and he wants to try and get himself back into the mix for the World Drivers' Championship. And look at him, he's absolutely on one at the moment. Vettel just streaking away at the front, some incredible pace from him, and I can't match him. And meanwhile, look at this, Nico Rosberg diving one up the inside of the left-hander there, and we're all battling. Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel is walking away up ahead, and I believe he's got one lap fresher tyres than me, so Vettel at the moment is absolutely on one. And meanwhile, we're trying to battle here with Nico Rosberg as we dive one back up the inside of the double apex left-hander. We managed to hold on to the second place for now, but later on that lap, literally a couple of corners later, we've had enough of these tyres, and we're pitting in for a set of mediums because the tyres were just absolutely shot to bits, and there's literally no more grip that we had available to us. So we're going to come into the pit lane here, and it's going to be a pit stop battle once again between myself, Hamilton, and Felipe Massa. But hopefully the Ferrari boys can give me the edge in the pit stop here. As you can see, a pretty decent stop there, and we're going to get underway, and hopefully we can stay ahead. Yes, we do, and we managed to stay ahead for the time being, and we're going to rejoin, I believe, in some pretty clear air, which is going to be good for us. But overall, we need to try and push once again and try and force the undercut on Nico Rosberg. So that's exactly what we're going to do here as we rejoin in P7. So lovely stuff so far, and we skip later on to lap 20. As you can see, now coming across the start finish line, there's Nico Rosberg on the left hand side there. This time we're much closer than last time. Can we possibly get him? We're going to try and switch back through turn 1, get the traction on the exit on the warm tyres. Rosberg's on the inside, side by side action through turn 2. Who's going to blink first into the chicane here? Just incredible side by side action, and Rosberg is on the inside there, but there's contact between the two of us. Rosberg forces me off the track there. Bit of contact as Rosberg actually swung, I believe, back across my path there. So a bit of a naughty move in my opinion from Rosberg, but Rosberg doing everything he can to hold onto that position, and we touched the back of Lewis Hamilton meanwhile going through that next corner, and really struggling against these silver arrows at the moment. And meanwhile, like I said before, Vettel's just streaking away up ahead, so it looks like Vettel could be setting himself up for a race win here. Meanwhile, meanwhile, the Mercedes are going at it. As you can see, side by side, we're going to dive one up the inside of the pair of them through the double apex left-hander, and we make it stick. So a double overtake on both of the Mercedes. They're fantastic move, but later on the lap, we get a horrible exit through the final corner, and now Rosberg is all over the back of us with some DRS. I'm going to go to the inside. Rosberg's still going to commit to the inside, though, by going even more to the inside, but I lock up my left front and running awfully deep into turn 1, and that allows both Mercedes and Bottas and almost Massa as well to get past us. Just incredible action here. Literally 5 cars going at it. It would be 6 if Vettel was still here, but look at the action here at Kota. Absolutely incredible race, and Bottas now getting all out of shape through the S's, and I'm just going to try and go around the outside of the right hander here. Can we possibly hold on to this move? We're going to try and have the inside line through the next corner, and we do make the move there on Bottas and make it stick. And I believe there's been a little bit of contact between Bottas and Massa further back, but that's not important right now. As you can see, we're trying to focus on these two Mercedes here, and they're still going side by side once again, as you can see here. So just incredible action here at Kota, an absolute treat for you guys. As you can see, go through the right hander now, both Mercedes running a little bit wide, and I get a better grip around the outside, and I just literally fly around the outside of Hamilton like I did earlier on in the race, and we get the move done on the British driver there, and we're now on the back of Nico Rosberg once again here at Kota, and we're going to hopefully have DRS, which is going to allow us to try and make a move on Nico into the first corner. We're a little bit far back here as we go on to lap 22. Can we possibly try and make the move? It's going to be a bit of a long shot here, but we are going to go for it nice and late on the brakes. A dive bomb up the inside of turn 1. Fantastic move on Nico Rosberg. Nico braking way too early, and I managed to get the edge on him there on the brakes into turn 1. But later on that lap, look at this, down the back straight, Rosberg and Hamilton are literally molesting me with some DRS. The pair of them going 3 wide into the next corner, and we actually switch back, and Rosberg getting a great run through the apex here, and we actually stay ahead of Hamilton for the time being. And I dive one back up the inside of Rosberg here. Look at this last second dive bomb up the inside of the German, and I run out nice and wide to make sure Rosberg does not get back past us, forcing him out onto the red stuff, and eventually Hamilton actually overtook him. And speaking of Lewis Hamilton, now here comes Lewis up the inside of us way before turn 1. Literally the DRS so effective down this pit straight, especially once the hill begins, and Hamilton makes the move there for a net second place. And meanwhile, Nico Rosberg is trying to go around the outside of us, and look at the traction Rosberg gets there, but we managed to get much more momentum through turn 2 for some reason, and we're going to go clean around the outside of the S's there on Rosberg. A fantastic move there on him, but meanwhile later on that lap, it's literally the action is non-stop here at Kota because of the DRS. Rosberg comes back at us now down the back straight. I've got DRS, but so has Rosberg and so has Bottas, and we're going to go 3 wide into the braking point. Can we maybe outbrake the 2 of them? Yes, we do. We get later on the brakes in the pair of them, and we hold it around the outside of Rosberg, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and squeeze Rosberg out here into this next corner, run it out nice and wide, but Rosberg tries to get the switch back on us here, and he actually gets a great exit through the corner, but we just hold the inside there and go defensive on Rosberg. But it's literally never ending here. It's the very next lap. Rosberg and Bottas are coming back at us once again with some DRS, or should I say Massa, sorry. I thought it was Bottas, but it's actually Massa. I'm literally getting so caught up in the action here, as now we're still trying to attack Rosberg here and try and stay ahead of him. Meanwhile, Hamilton is now the next one to streak away in the distance, and I'm really starting to struggle on these medium tyres as I dive one up the inside of Rosberg once again at the double apex left-hander. Literally one of the corners where I made all my overtakes this race. It's just such a simple corner to make a move on, but moving later on to lap 25, it's getting a bit overcast here at Kota, and meanwhile Rosberg is back on the attack with some DRS. Here he goes up the inside, DRS wide open, flies past me in a straight line, and also Felipe Massa once again on the right hand side, but this time we're going to try and hold the inside. Oh no, it's actually Daniel Ricciardo now. Jesus Christ, I can't keep up with this. Now Ricciardo's in the mix for this battle. I literally just can't keep up with this as Rosberg goes up the inside. I'm going to try and go around the outside here. Side by side action. We're actually going to lose the back end and actually spin out here, and there's contact between ourselves and Felipe Massa, and we go for a spin, and I think that's going to be, we go for another spin again there, but I think that could be it. Ericsson's just behind us. We're going to stay ahead of him, but the mediums have just sort of gone off the cliff a little bit, and it looks like we're actually going to lose the battle, and that's exactly what happens as we skip on to the last lap of the race, and we're going to come home for a disappointing P7, but that's going to be quite a bit of a game changer because that's going to be the first 2 downgrades of the season, so a very interesting one there. So we're going to have to have a look at those in a moment, but P7, the first time we finish in a downgrade position all season, so that's a bit of a game changer, I believe. But as you can see, looking at the final race results, P7 for us, Sebastian Vettel actually won the race, and Max Verstappen came home in second. He did a 2-stop strategy and managed to make that work to come home in second place, and then Lewis Hamilton comes home in third, and crucially Nico Rosberg only finished finished 5th, and Ricciardo actually beat him to the line. So Rosberg only finishing in 5th place. He's going to gain some points in the championship, but what this means is that Vettel and Hamilton are actually going to close the gap quite a substantial amount. So we're going to have to look at the Drivers' Championship now, and as you can see, Rosberg has overtaken us, or sorry, he's extended his lead, should I say, to 4 points. Meanwhile, the top 4 are now covered by 35 points, and Hamilton and Vettel are only 17 and 35 points, respectively, behind Rosberg now. So things are getting really tasty again in the Drivers' Championship. I thought for a second it was going to be me versus Rosberg, but that's gone completely out the window this race, and it's now a 4-horse race once again with 4 races left to go this season. But look at our constructors, you can see that Ferrari are still ahead of Mercedes by 14 points because Vettel won that race, so that is crucial for us. But looking at the board, 7th place does mean 3 downgrades, so that is what we're going to do right now, and unfortunately it's going to be our first proper downgrades of the season. So as you can see, the first one's going to be the front anti-roll bar, so that's not too bad, as long as we avoid getting the rear wing, and that'll be absolutely fine. So as you can see, going to a second spin now, and we're going to get the front camber. So we get the front camber, that's not too bad. We just need one more, and it's going to be the differential on throttle. So just the differential on throttle right at the last second there, so we avoid a rear wing demotion. So crucially, we've still got the rear wing for the next race in Mexico, which has got the massive pit straight, so that's going to be crucial for us. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, then please do smash the like button, and if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel for future videos like this, and also F1 2016 content very soon. But nevertheless guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a time, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. Goodbye.